It's been a grim start to the season at Old Trafford, the club's worst of the Premier League era. Error-strewn performances on the pitch, crisis after crisis off it. So here's my 5-point guide on how to fix Manchester United. Sell the club. For goodness sake, Joel and Avram Glazer, just do the right thing. You promised the Manchester United fans in November that you were looking for new investment or maybe even to sell all of your shares. Here we are, 10 months later, nothing's happened. There's a bid from Qatar, there's a bid from Sir Jim Ratcliffe, a boyhood Manchester United fan, yet still we're in limbo. The Glazers are responsible for the fall in standards, for the lack of accountability that was demonstrated with Manchester United's shoddy handling of the Mason Greenwood affair. The Glazers are responsible for the fact Old Trafford, this once great sporting arena, has fallen into a state of disrepair. The Glazers are responsible for the fact Manchester United's training ground at Carrington isn't fit for purpose compared to many of their Premier League rivals. The Glazers are ultimately responsible for Manchester United's decline. Stand by your manager. Heed those words from Sir Alex Ferguson himself on that rain-sodden day after Swansea when he told the Manchester United fans to back David Moyes. They didn't listen. David Moyes was sacked just 10 months later. Louis van Gaal has come in and tried and failed to replicate Sir Alex's successes. So too has Jose Mourinho. Even a club legend in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer couldn't get it done in the long term. Erik Ten Hag delivered last season. He delivered Champions League football. He delivered a first trophy in 6 years and an FA Cup final. He hasn't become a bad manager overnight. The board have allowed him to pretty much run the recruitment department, so he signed the players. They have to see the project through now. I think most Manchester United fans agree Ten Hag, despite critics from the outside, is still the man. Get Rasmus Hojlund fit and get him firing. There haven't been too many bright sparks for United so far this season, but the big day number 11 is one. From the minute he came on against Arsenal, he battered into an Arsenal defender. He proved he could handle the physicality of the Premier League. He played a part in the ultimately disallowed goal scored by Garnacho. He scored himself and got it chalked off against Brighton. The Manchester United fans booed when Hojlund was substituted against Brighton. That tells me they've already taken him to their hearts. He isn't fully fit yet after a disrupted pre-season. When he is, he needs to be the main man up front. After all, if Anthony Martial is the answer, what on earth is the question? Sort out the midfield. It's been a problem from minute one. I was behind the goal against Wolverhampton Wanderers. United were all over the place in the middle of the park. Mason Mount and Bruno Fernandes were both asked to play as number 10s. That left Casemiro hopelessly exposed. When Mount got injured against Spurs, in came Eriksen. There's no legs in midfield when he plays alongside Casemiro. I'm hoping, as a lot of United fans are, that Sofian Amrabat will be fitter sooner rather than later. I think he could well be the missing piece of the jigsaw. Against Brighton, we tried this disastrous diamond that left too much space down the flanks. Marcus Rashford doesn't want to track back. Ten Hag's got to sort that out as well. Midfield is going to be so key for Manchester United this season, particularly when Mount and Amrabat are fit and available. The other problem, of course, is that lack of natural width that I've already talked about. There's no Jadon Sancho because he's fallen out with Ten Hag. There's no Antony because he's been given a leave of absence. That leaves Garnacho and Pellistri, two young, inexperienced players, but two natural wide men. At least one of those simply has to start for the balance of the team against Burnley on Saturday. Get back to taking pride in defending. We all remember the scenes at the start of last season, against Leicester I think it was, at the King Power. Big celebrations, big chest pumps between Diogo Dalot and Lisandro Martinez after United had cleared the ball behind for a corner. Martinez did the same when he made a tackle early in the game against Liverpool that gave Erik Ten Hag his first win as Manchester United manager. Where is that now? Look at the body language against Brighton. Players trudging back to the halfway line after conceding a sloppy goal. The shoulders are sloped. They're looking at each other for inspiration. That inspiration needs to come from the manager. He needs to get that belief and that character back into this team. I do wonder if maybe they're a bit weary mentally and physically after overtraining in pre-season. So that's my 5-point plan to fix the mess that is Manchester United. How would you solve it? Let us know in the comments below.